first question to you is, what is the interest that you've been able to find in the American automotive industry? Have any of them reached out to you? Have any of them indicated any desire to partner with you to advance your technology and to bring it to market? Because ultimately, that is the task. Have you had any contact with any automotive companies?
We have not been in any direct contact. We really more focused on our technologies and really made sure that it was absolutely ready to go and perfected. We have, as I said before, we have applied for some funding assistance and things like that, but we haven't really made any contact with the large manufacturers, not as of yet.
And I think there's no question that the one thing America does better than anyone else on earth, we'll probably say play baseball, is to out-invent the rest of the world. And I really do want to congratulate the X Prize program for setting this and for everyone who participated. And I don't think it's too far to talk about the fact that you are in Jefferson country. And Thomas Jefferson was one of the great inventors of concepts of liberty. He was a philosopher, but he was also a pragmatist. He understood how to put those principles into action in the real world. And I think your ability, all of your abilities, to think beyond the standards of your own time and the assumptions of your own time, to imagine the next big thing, the next great thing, is nothing short of astounding. But also, is this something that can be affordable? Is this something that can be commercialized? One of the things that I think Mr. Markey was getting at that I'd like to ask you all about is the extent to which we need, what it's going to take to get from the point of having this intellectual property to the point that we can see these sorts of things truly entering into the market space, whether it's the wheel or the brake or the entire car model. And what do you think is the timeline? And Mr. President, we'll start to talk about how we go from the genius of these inventions to actual commercialization.
The big part of it is getting the additional funding and the additional help, and if not just the recognition that these ideas are out there and they're driving today for over 7 years now, and that's monitoring the batteries and monitoring the systems that operate your vehicle, as well as the complete design of a new vehicle, new chassis, more dependable parts, easier to manufacture components, less expensive to manufacture components that require less mechanical tooling to make them in the first place. I feel like the evolution of the automobile is here and starting today, but also thank you for allowing us to speak today and just hear what we have to say.
Let me follow up on very relevant question and ask whether or not any of the tax-intensive programs, loan programs that we have put on the books here in Congress over the last 4 years have been in any way helpful to you, any way something that you could qualify for to help you to meet these requirements. So take that question and go in the direction this is good.
I do believe that some of them could potentially help us in the future. Some of the stuff in the past that we have applied for or have looked into getting for one reason or another, we want to achieve what is required to get that to move forward. The difficult part is you've got a company that's putting a lot of heart and a lot of funding into it, and because you're developing a product, you don't have a lot of return at the beginning. So it is very difficult to demonstrate why, how you can repay a loan immediately or how a lot of that type of stuff happens. So it's getting to that level and maybe do it in smaller steps where you get a grant in order to get this technology out there and show that it's viable and start producing some vehicles. And then maybe you get into more of a large format loan program where you can really up your manufacturing.
Is the X Prize helping to advance that goal by new ways of manufacturing these devices?
I think what we saw with the X Prize is a good mixture of new technologies and old technologies. But we're also looking at a lot of new exterior materials, more in derivatives of cloth such as fiberglasses and carbon fiber. We are working with the company right now on developing a new high-grade cloth that will be using a soy-based resin, both a little bit more green in the materials themselves. I would say that the biggest thing for us is to look at the whole package, look at the aerodynamics that we've developed in our car. Right now, compared to a car with the same funnel area, is about a third of the horsepower pushed this car at 85 miles an hour. We've gone and then into the skin, into our batteries and our battery management systems, all proprietary for us. But we feel that we have been focused on the battery electric vehicle with the lithium power since 2003 now. And it really seems to be that they have chosen the right direction, and it's really proven very successful for us.
Thank you. Dr. Diamandis.
Very Marty, thank you. Incentive prizes are an incredibly efficient and highly leveraged and powerful tool to drive breakthroughs and to take risks where risks are needed for breakthroughs. The Department of Energy, the U.S. government, made a $9 million investment here in the DOE, for which we are extraordinarily grateful. And we believe there is at least over $100 million of return so far, and hopefully a $1 billion industry that these gentlemen will start to find here. We stand ready and convinced that in your mission, sir, in stemming the need for oil and reinventing climate, that incentive prizes can play an incredible role to bring the smartest people around the planet to solve these problems. It's a matter of what are the right targets, and we stand ready to work with you and the Department of Energy.
The vehicles, the winning vehicles are right outside the building right now. You're all invited to just go down one floor, out the back door, and the vehicles are there that we can all walk around, look at. And especially all of you congressional staffers who are here, representing all the members of Congress, I want you to see the future and know that it's here now. And we're not talking about rocket science. We're talking about automotive mechanics and metallurgy. And so it's here now. And we just have to find ways of ensuring that we give the incentives for the continued improvement of these technologies that solve so many of the problems. Back in 1970, the United States imported approximately 20% of the oil that we consume. A couple of years ago, it went up to 60% of the oil that we consume, and we put 70% of the oil that we consume into gasoline tanks. So the problem is pretty simple to define in terms of how we have to reinvent the things to which those gasoline tanks are attached, the vehicles that we drive here and around. And there's no question that by the year 2099, this revolution will be complete. We will have figured out how to do it. It just becomes a question of how much time it will take to reach that. And what you three represent today is really an inspiring example of engineering that helps to make it possible for millions of people to see what is possible. And not what is possible Buck Rogers in the 22nd century sense, but what is possible right now. And so we thank you for your leadership. We thank you, Dr. Diamandis, for your leadership on this issue. We are going to continue to focus on this issue like no other, because this is the central issue. In fact, it's national security, economic security, balance of payments, and climate policy. It's all wrapped up into one issue, and you give us a vision of the future looks like. We're going to do everything we can to now how to help you to achieve that goal. You let us know as weeks and months and years go by what we can do as public policy makers to help you complete this task. Thank you all so much. This hearing is adjourned. You're all invited to go out the door, down one flight of steps, and go out and get a glimpse of the future. Thank you.
Well, on this one, we're doing 191 miles. One-seater. You like any of the greatest sports cars that you've ever been in, huh? Thank you. Yes, sir. Yeah. Absolutely.
And we have our proprietary battery management system. This is all built in our facility in North Carolina.
Who developed your battery?
Actually, it's a company out of Korea. They designed the battery, and we went ahead and put our own battery management software, which allowed us to actually get the MPEG-4 rating that we're claiming.
What category are you in?
We are. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.